Have you ever had a drawer where just like everything goes into? For me, that's my kitchen drawer. But the annoying thing is, before I go out, usually I need to take things out of that drawer, but the drawer is like an absolute mess. My keys, wallet, random post-it notes, exploded pens, passports, IDs, things that I've never seen before in my entire life are just in that drawer. And because the drawer is so stuffed, I can never find the important things I need to get out of there. I should really clean up my drawer. I should really simplify it. Now, if you can't tell what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to get a little bit fancy and create a metaphor. The drawer is like my life, stuffed with tons of different things. Now, initially, I was okay with my kitchen drawer, being too packed, too full. I could root around there for a while and eventually get the stuff out I needed to. However, eventually the drawer was unusable. It was so stuffed, I couldn't even close it anymore, and I couldn't find anything I needed. And the same thing happened to my life. My life was overstuffed. I put in too many things, I took on too many commitments, and eventually I just couldn't live normally. Sometimes we need to take action. We need to clean the drawer. We need to simplify our lives. Why do we keep stuffing things in there anyway? In this video, I'll tell you how to clean up that drawer because we all have one, and how to simplify your life. So in reality, there are really only two rules for simplifying your life. The first rule is figure out what's important, and the second rule is eliminate everything else. That's it. Game, set, match. The game's over. Federer's won again. And thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Go figure out your life. But no. In reality, these things are much harder to figure out. So what I wanted to try and do with this video is give you some tips, give you some starting points on how you can identify the important things and start to eliminate the other things. Let's get into it. So the whole basis of my video, the whole basis of this strategy will revolve around putting everything you do into one of three categories. The first category is important things, the second category is unimportant things, and the third category is commitments. Those are things that we have to do. So let's start about talking about the first thing, and this is the hardest thing to talk about, the important things. So the first thing I would do is list out 4 to 5 important things. And this is really, really extremely hard to do because I'm asking the big question: what is important in your life? What are the main focuses of your life? So some things you could fill with those 4 to 5 things are your passion. And this is, again, a really hard question. What do you like to do? Do you like art? Do you like being in the hospital? Do you like teaching? Do you like flying airplanes? Figure out what your passion is. Now, I still don't really know what my passion is. Part of me says I want to be a doctor. Part of me says I want to be a super duper YouTuber. But part of me also says I want to leave all of it and go try living in Italy for a year or something like that. So I don't really know what my passion is. So I just listed medicine, YouTube, exploration, family, and health. Those are my 4 to 5 important things. Other things that might be important to me are time to myself, friendships, nature, reading. Those are important things. But again, these don't take from my list. Create your own list of important things. And these shouldn't be the little things like, I like to sleep in on a Sunday or something like that. These should be the big important things. And that's why this is the hardest task of the whole video. Okay, number 2, we're getting easier here. List out 10 unimportant things. This should be pretty easy. And this you can get a little bit specific if you want to. So for example, my list is having a fancy car, being super involved with Twitter and Instagram, drinking and staying up super late with my friends on the weekends, having lots of clothes, watching TV or movies, being the best workout designer, being the best video researcher, being the best chef in the world. But I realize those things aren't super important to me, so eventually I can just offload those tasks to other people so I have more time to do the important things. So number 3, we're filling that third category, is the commitments. Evaluate the things that you absolutely have to do. There are certain things that we really all need to do. This can be family, kids, religion, health things we need to do, school things we need to do, and we just usually can't get out of them. So now you should have a massive list of things to do. You have a list under the important things, you have a list under the unimportant things, and you have a list under the essential things, or the things you have to do. So what I would start to do now is start to critically think about every single thing in the unimportant list and every single thing in the commitment list. Seriously, look at each line and say, How important is this thing? How does this line up with where I want to be in life? What would happen if I stopped doing it? How would me stopping doing that look like? Are these things adding complexity to my life unnecessarily? Sometimes I find myself resorting back to these unimportant things, the things that I don't want to fill my life with, like playing video games or watching TV or buying fancy clothes on the internet. But I would probably be happier if, I went for a long hike in nature or got dinner with one of my good friends. Okay, so now we have a great general sense of what's in our life. Now we're going to get to the good part, eliminating stuff. Henry David Thoreau said, "Our lives are frittered away by detail. Simplify, simplify." I want you to remember that small changes made consistently are much more likely to stick and much more likely to have a big impact than large changes made carelessly. So remember, we have those 3 categories of things that we just listed out. Let's start by cutting things or figuring out how we would cut things from our commitments, from our work, from the things we have to do. So let's use work as an example. What are your commitments at work? What are things that you absolutely have to do? Can you reduce those? What would that reduction in work or commitments look like? How would you make this reduction look desirable to your employer? Maybe you work from home a couple days a week, but importantly, you show your employer that you're actually more productive at home than you are at work. Figure out what benefit you provide to the company and see how you can maximize that benefit to the company while still maximizing your own personal time. Tim Ferriss from the 4-Hour Workweek says, "Don't underestimate how much your company needs you. Perform well and ask for what you want. If you don't get it over time, leave. It's too big a world to spend most of our lives in a cubicle." Try and find something in these have-to-do lists where you can pull back a little bit from, where you can reduce your commitments. Remember, we're trying to create more free time because eventually we're going to be filling that free time with the important things. So next, let's look at the unimportant things and see what we can eliminate. Now, these are usually easier to eliminate, but less impactful to eliminate. Staying up late and drinking on the weekends, I simply just don't do that anymore. I eliminated it. Having lots of clothes and tons of things in my closet, well, I found out a year ago, as you can probably tell from my videos, I wear the same clothes kind of around 90% of the time. So I threw out about 80% of my stuff. All in all, go through that unimportant list and next to it, write an arrow that says eliminate, and then write another arrow that says exactly how you're going to eliminate it. So if, for example, with all my clothes that I had, I said, okay, I can eliminate this. How am I going to do it? Well, just get rid of, throw away, or donate 80% of the stuff I don't wear. That was it. Okay, so we've eliminated as much as we can, but sometimes we just can't eliminate things. It feels really tough, almost impossible to eliminate things. For example, TV and video games seem kind of just sticking into my life and I just can't eliminate them. I like to watch an episode of TV before I go to bed. I like to watch an episode of TV when I'm eating lunch. And on the weekend, I like to play 1 or 2 games of Apex. I also like to go on Twitter and Instagram. I feel like I also kind of need to because, I'm a social media kind of person. So what I do instead is I minimize those things as much as possible. And that's the next step. Minimize what you can't eliminate. So remember, you still have that list of unimportant things and commitments, and we've hopefully eliminated a couple of those things. Now you still probably have a bunch of things on those lists. We want to see what we can minimize. For example, for me, TV and video games have been tough to eliminate. So now I just limit myself to an hour a day. And that means if on one day I watch 3 hours of TV, that means for the next 6 days, I can only watch 4 hours of TV or play 4 hours of video games total. For Instagram and Twitter, I only log on to scroll for 1 hour on the weekend on Sundays. For the rest of the week, I use a tip that I stole from Thomas Frank, and really that's just to log out of every one of those things, because the activation energy to log into those things makes it more likely that you won't actually start using those things again. Okay, number 3 is make sure you don't add in unimportant things. Right? We've worked so hard to eliminate and minimize things. Don't add in unimportant things. Learn to say no. So as you enter this newfound mental and time nirvana, you will notice people and things try to break you out of it. Again, you'll notice people are trying to pull you away from these things, not because this is a new thing, because this is happening all the time, but because you are more keenly aware of your time and your commitments. You're aware when people are trying to take you out of this newfound freedom, this newfound mental space. You are hopefully becoming more aware of your most valuable asset, your time. So it would help, and it's helped me a lot, to say no more. You're not tired, you're not sick, you don't have something you have to do. Don't lie to these people, just tell them the truth. You must be a strong defender of your time because no one else will. Okay, now we've cut out tons of things. Let's cut even a little bit more. Clean out your living space. That includes clothes, clutter, everything. Usually you can throw away 80% of everything. Remove all junk food from the house, remove all junk drinks from the house, clean up your computer, clean up your phone. Pay attention to morning and night routines. If you don't have a morning and nighttime routine, get one. Have a place for everything in the house. Also, when buying things, use the rule of removing negatives as opposed to adding positives. So when you want to go buy something new, try to only buy something new if it removes a negative as opposed to adding a positive. Okay, we've done tons of work here. We've identified the unimportant things, the important things, and our commitments. We've eliminated our unimportant things or commitments, and we've minimized our unimportant things or commitments, and we've maximized our newfound free time. Well, what do we do with this newfound free time? Well, guess what? We add in the important things. We add in the important things to you. Now, carefully go to that list of important things and pick one thing that you want to add in with this newfound time. And make sure this is a worthwhile thing. Find a time at least once a week, preferably once a day, where you could add in this new important thing, because hopefully you should have freed up enough time to at least have an extra bout of time during the week. And then just try that out for maybe a week, 2 weeks, and see how it feels to have less things to do and have more of the important things to do in your life. So what does this look like? Well, remember, this is a really slow process. One of my unimportant things was going out, staying up really late on the weekends and drinking with my friends out late. So what I found myself having when I wasn't doing those things is I would be awake early on Saturday and Sunday, and I would also feel good early in the morning on Saturday and Sunday. So then I looked to my important list. What was important to me? And I saw, okay, getting in nature is something that's pretty important to me. So now with this newfound free time on Saturday and Sunday mornings, I slotted in maybe on Saturday or Sunday a 2 or 3 hour nature hike with a friend. It has become one of my favorite things to do, and I make sure to do it at least once a month when the weather's kinda normal. It really is awesome. One of my friends will meet me at my apartment early in the morning. I'll turn my phone off, put it in my backpack. We'll go drive to the location, hike for 2 hours or 3 hours, see the sunrise, come back, go home, and just, live the rest of our weekend. But it's had such a great impact on me. I can't figure out why I wasn't doing this sooner. And that's the general theme of what I'm doing now. I'm eliminating things or minimizing things that are unimportant to me, or work or life commitments that are unimportant to me, and slowly slotting in more and more things that are important to me. And I think that's the most important sentence of my entire video. I think that's one of the most important sentences that I've ever said to you guys, because it's had such a profound impact on me. And again, I'll say it again. Remove as many unimportant things from your life as you can, and then add in as many as the important things as you can. It sounds really simple, but when you start to do this, you'll be amazed at just how much happier you are and how much better of a life you have. Keep simplifying, minimizing, and eliminating until the only things left in your life are the things that are important to you, or the things that you absolutely have to do. Simplify your life until that drawer is tidy, so you can come home, put things in it, close the door, and then later open it up and find out exactly what you need from that drawer and get it out easily. I honestly think this is probably one of the most important videos I'll ever make, but it will probably be honestly a less popular video just because I'm not talking about, XYZ tips to have a more productive life or something like that. But I just wanted to make this video because it's had such a profound impact on me. If I help maybe just 1 or 2 of you guys live a happier, kind of better life, that's good enough for me. Well, I hope this video was helpful. And if you've enjoyed this kind of more unusual post from me, unusual video from me, you might enjoy my newsletter. And in this weekly newsletter, which I send out every Sunday, I include something interesting that I learned during that week. And I dive a little deeper into touchy-feely topics, as well as talking about actionable tips that I've started implementing to improve my life. Like, for example, in my most recent newsletter, I talked about my favorite morning and evening routine that I'm doing right now every single day because it's just so awesome. The newsletter also has my favorite thing that I read of the week, the favorite thing I watched of the week, and my favorite thing that I listened to of the week, which is usually a podcast. So if you're interested in getting that newsletter every Sunday with something I learned that week and 3 awesome links, head to zhighley.com/newsletter or click on the link on the screen and subscribe today. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.